There is a lot of ambition and groundbreaking work that sits on the corridors of Makheleni Construction Company. This agile, forward-thinking and visionary 100% black-owned business entrenched in the heart of KwaZulu-Natal supports the need to accelerate the development of its people and communities. We are a solutions-driven company with a far-reaching footprint that provides expertise in construction, not limited to roadworks, civil and mechanical engineering, water bulk networks, as well as water reticulation pipeline and a number of related services. The organization was established over 20 years ago, commencing with small-scale projects to the value of 200,000 rands. Since then till now, our experience speaks volumes. We are now executing projects to the value of 100 million rands and above. It goes without saying that the organization has had a distinct vision in its extraordinary style of tackling challenges in the industry, and that has set us apart and reflected in our growth throughout the years.
We're involved in projects that are in deep rural areas, areas where you find the terrain is not conducive at all for conventional machinery to execute. Therefore, there is a lot of considerations when you go into these areas with such terrain. You look at how you're going to execute. Did you price the project correctly for all those things? So we are proud to say that there is one project, Msinga, where we arrived. The area is called Otame, where we arrived there, and the engineer told us that guys, you're not gonna make it to the end of this project on time. We laughed, and because we knew our strengths. There are companies that we work with in terms of especially the plant hire companies that we work with, and we always choose and make sure that we work with the right ones. So we brought in there the machinery that within 3 months the engineer was convinced, and he said, I underestimated you, but I can see now that Makheleni means business. And we are proud of such achievements over the years, because most of the projects that we undertake are projects that not many people would believe they can be completed on time, especially in these rural areas. We involved in areas such as Makheleni. There's Makheleni water project. I think it's phase 6 that we are doing there. It's a very complicated project. If you were to visit that project, there are some, we once lost a vehicle that overturned in that area because of the terrain in that area. But we really are proud to say at this time we've completed that project. People in that community, they are drinking water. There is a lot of excitement. Our client is happy because for many years, from 2006, now we're talking 2020, that project started then, and people were not getting water. And now Makheleni arrived there, and people are now drinking water, And when we visited the area, we go there every month. And when we visited the area after the water was opened, people were excited. People were talking about this organization.
Iyashesha ngoba kuyamiswa icolona ayiyashesha impela. Iyashesha impela sesiyethemba impela ngoba ayisiyibona ukuthi hayi kuza kahle iyashesha impela.
Siyafisa nje ukusho baseMakhabeleni njengoward councillor omele kakhulu iward yamaward yaseMakhabeleni ukuthi iproject ihambe kahle kakhulu. Siphinde futhi sibonge indlela okusebenziswane ngayo noMakheleni Construction kusukela efika around May June last year kuze kube manje sisebenze kahle kakhulu nempatho yabo abasebenzi bakhona ibinhle kakhulu emphakathini. Ngicabanga ukuthi uMakheleni nezinye zeinkampani eSouth Africa ezizokhula kakhulu going forward. Ilokho nje mhlambe umuntu angafisa ukubeka osukwini namhlanje kusinifisa inhlanhla lani yakhona. Nathi ke sinethemba ukuthi sizosala siphuza amanzi rather than ezinye inkampani esiyibona kwabanye umasipala kufakwa amanzi kodwa mawufika empompini amanzi awaphumi futhi sekugqiba amapipe ngekuthathwa imali. But kulokhu siyayibonela ukuthi hayi, it's not about ukugqiba amapipe kanjwe nemali, it's about ukuthi abantu basale bephuza amanzi.
Khona impela Le contract lena futhi ekuyiyona efikela hayi isebenzela kahle kakhulu ngoba umphakathi uyathi uthuphile uxoxe ikateliziko futhi sinethemba elikhulu ukuthi amanzi sesiwathola amanzi aclean manje besiphuza amanzi omfula abuya asigolise sesinethemba manje cha indlela manje isikhona amanzi aseduzane nathi ngeke sikwazi ukuthi siye lokho nje siyokha amanzi kude ekubona futhi ngeke sikwazi ukuthi saphuza amanzi angcolile ngoba amanzi omfula abuya ngcole kufela nezilwane khona siyaphuza thina gcina sithola izifo ngena nje engajwayelekile kusho ukuthi nje sibona impela indlela nje yethu ikahle kakhulu emphakathini futhi umphakathi futhi ke awukazi ukhala ukuthi awukwazi uholelwe usahola ngoba ezinkontraki umphakathi uyithi phela bese kusebekhala ukuthi cha sithina siyasebenza kodwa asiholi kulena ke cha basebenza bayahola asikabi nankinga nje futhi makuthiwa impela kuya ngathi njena nje lokho njena nje lokho nje ubungaphelele umsebenzi noma sithola amanzi uqale komunye umsebenzi futhi lokwazi ukuphila ngoba ngiyabona cha nisebenzisana kahle nabo uba baningi bomama siyakujabulela kakhulu impela ngoba omama yibona abaphethe imizi imvamsa obaba kule ndawo basekhaya abasekho sebashona abantu abaningi omama abesilisa laba enibabona bekhona nje yingoba vele nje ababaninganga abaningi omama baphethe ipeto basebenza ngokukhulu kwizimisela kanti khathi siningi omama bebengathatheki abantu betshela ukuthi omama ngeke bebe nawo amandla okusebenza la kusiza khona amadoda kodwa kuma nje omama nabo bezayo kumsebenzi siyabonga kakhulu lokho.
One of the projects managed by Makheleni Construction was Inqutu Water Project, which involved taking water from the reservoir and distributing it to 5 wards. Challenge faced was that one ward was across the provincial road, meaning the pipe had to go across the road for the community to get water. Since a provincial road is busy, a strategy had to be devised to avoid damaging or closing the road when laying the pipe. The pipe jacking method was then adopted so that the pipe can be laid beneath the road without disturbing movement of vehicles. The first step was to look for a hip on the road. Dig a trench that was deep enough not to disturb the road surface. Big concrete pipes were placed to allow the uninterrupted working space beneath the road surface. When done with the concrete pipes, the steel pipes that carry water were laid and joined at 6-meter-long intervals inside the concrete pipes. Both ends of the concrete pipe are then closed with brickwork. Backfill and landscape was done to the excavated pits for laying pipes. Pipeline markers were then placed on the surface to indicate where the pipes were laid. In case the pipe gets damaged, markers will be used to trace the pipe. Brickwork will be demolished, then the pipe will be fixed. The project was completed without interrupting vehicle movements on the road.
And then in some projects, we have drilling of boreholes. Most of these rudimentary schemes, water schemes, they are in deep rural areas where you find that there is no surface water. Therefore, you've got to deal with the underground water, and the only option you have is to drill for boreholes. So we've executed such projects, especially in the area of KZN. Most of rural areas, you get rudimentary scheme where there is no network, there is no water network, such as water reticulation pipes and so on, or there is no proper infrastructure like water treatment works, and therefore we install probably boreholes, and you put a small water treatment plant there to treat the water for human consumption. So we've been involved in a number of projects such as those.
Today marks the history within Makheleni as we were casting a deck for Mtashana TVET College of Engineering. It takes us a lot of time in preparations, from the levels, from the foundations, casting of columns, up to where we are today, when we had to meet all the standards, SAN standards. We had to check all the supports and formwork. that we met, ensure that we met the required standard that are at disposal for us. And we had to be in compliance in terms of safety to ensure that everybody, her mind or his mind has been prepared for today. So they are aware of the risk related to what we were doing today. We had to ensure that we submit the risk assessment, the method statement, and we ensure that they are communicated with everyone on site from management level to the team on the ground so they understand what is at stake. But finally, we have casted. There was no injury, so I can boldly say LTI free. We have achieved the casting on time starting from casting at 8 o'clock and up to this far. There were minor challenges from the supplier, but we managed to resolve all that. But finally, everything went well. Progress done. We have achieved, and there's still more to come. Classroom 2 is the next one, together with the walkways and the column for first floor. So there's more to come. So I can say big up to the team.
Health and safety is one of the most important considerations we take before any construction project gets underway.
Ngiyi-safety officer la, ngibhekele ezokuphepha for i-traffic le, mina engiyisebenzayo. Sebenza emgaqweni obhizi kakhulu, o-under uSimangaliso Park, kunezihlahla eningi kakhulu, kunezikebhe, indawo yama-tourist nje kakhulu le ebhizi, kunoSpanga lana kudlula ama-truck amakhulu eyodeliver, bayodeliver, uthola ukuthi siyaphazamiseka, kodwa we've managed ukuthi ke singabi nengozi ngisho eyodwa. Ngenza sure ukuthi abantu before baqala ukusebenza they are inducted ukuze babe familiar with the site ukuthi kwenzakalani, and then abasebenzayo ngiking sure ukuthi basebenza begqoke a correct PPE ukubavikela ekulimaleni nakuzo zonke izinto. Kwi traffic accommodation laba abaphatha amaduku no stop and go, I've trained them ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi bacontrol traffic ukuze sikwazi ukuthi singabi nezingozi emgaqeni.
Ngikujabulele ukufika kwencontract la izosiqasha. Ngijabule kakhulu because kunezinto engifundile, kube sengathi lena bengiqala ukusebenza kwi-contract kodwa kube sengathi sengiyazi. Ukujabula kwami kube sekuthena ukuthi vele imali ade ngiyihola ade ngingayazi bengiqala ukuyihola ekhaya sijabulela. Bekumnandi sisebenza, bengihola ngesikhathi, angaze ngingaholi enkontrakini, angaze ngibe necomplaint ukuthi angiholile. Ngiyafisa iphinde ibuye izosipha amathuba omsebenzi.
Makheleni senza umgwaqo u3 km. Lo mgwaqo lona oka 8 months. Senza i-construction of road and rehabilitation whereby senza ama-layers awu-2. So we are making sure ukuthi ama-test ayathathwa. Umgwaqo ubhizi kanjalo, we are senza sure ukuthi ezokuphepha siyazibhekelela kakhulu. Kumanje nje sesize sophetha umgwaqo but azikho ingozi ezenzeka. Of which into siyabatrainer nabantu, sinama flagmen lana, sinama stop and go. So far i-client li happy kakhulu. Yona amehlo ayo ama consultant of which impumelelo. So akaze a complain. Umsebenzi nje uhlezi uhamba kahle, siyasebenzisana kahle nabo. Makheleni ungqumile of which into engiyaziyo is because of yena. So le part yomgwaqo bekuyi ipart edayo kulezi zinto abangifundise zona, of which kungenza ukuthi ngikhule kakhulu if ngizokwazi ukwazi izinto eziningi ezihlukene zizokwenza ukuthi nabo bathemba ukuthi if kukhona into ekumele yenziwe ngikhona since ngigainile experience ngapha.
One of the areas that we are proud of as an organization is the social component, CSI projects, because these projects are more involved in rural areas.
Sijabulile kakhulu, siyabonga kwande lapho bethathe khona.
one of the areas, Tuba, we've done, they actually requested us to assist them with the early childhood development school. And we've managed to build such and complete it. That was purely done by Makheleni from scratch, and that project has been completed. One would like to take an opportunity to really appreciate all our clients that we work with, including the engineers, representatives that we work with, clients representatives that we work with. You know, success Makheleni up until now, there is no doubt that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your support, if it wasn't for your love that you display to us on continuous basis. There are people who really believe in us. There are relationships and partnerships that we really believe in, that we have seen bearing a lot of fruits in the past couple of years. We would really we would love to take this opportunity and thank all of you and really appreciate all of you. There is no doubt that we still need you going forward. We would love to develop new partnerships as well with certain government firms. So yeah, we really appreciate you. And lastly, ngiyafisa ukubonga abasebenzi bakaMakheleni. We are where we are because of all of you, employees of this organization. The respect that you have, you know, the culture that you have developed yourselves in making sure that Makheleni becomes an employees organization, because that's what we are. This is an employees organization. We have become a family, and it's encouraging to see some of you growing from strength to strength, you know, being ambitious of certain things within the company, coming up with new solutions, developing programs that will enable us to find quick solutions in what we do. We really appreciate you. We have a 5-year strategic growth plan, and we are working towards that. Please be part of that. For employees, position yourself strategically so that you become part of this family in the near future in anyhow, and part of the management as well. So we really appreciate all of you, and thank you very much to all those who are working with us. You may not be our client, you may not be an employee, but obviously you have a role to play in the success of this organization. We really appreciate you greatly, and thank you very much to everyone.